All right. So to start with, we need to explain the effects control panel and give a simple overview of what this panel does. So when you're clicked on a video clip, you will notice it says video and it'll say audio. And this is going to affect both the video and audio of the clip. When you're on a text clip, which is what we'll be working on, you'll notice that instead it says graphics and video. Obviously, the text layer doesn't have any audio, so you can't affect anything there. But in addition to that, you'll notice that some of these things are repeated twice. So when I open up text here and I open up transform, you'll see position, scale, rotation, opacity, and anchor point. And then under video, you'll also see position, scale, rotation, and anchor point. And you might be like, well, what do those things mean? So let's go over and explain it. So under graphics, you'll notice that my two layers of text are actually in two separate text boxes. Okay. And when I click on the text box, it'll highlight over here in the graphics panel. And then I am able to go over and once I hit the disclosure triangle and I see transform, I'm able to go over and independently move the items on this panel. And I can adjust the scale, making it bigger or smaller. I could go over and change the position. I can change how invisible it is, your opacity. Or I could go over and adjust the rotation. And that happens independent of to nowhere because I'm on where it says text mountain pass. So this part over here is not affected by my playing with the position, scale, etc. Now if I go into here where it says nowhere, I can do the same thing. I can adjust the position. I can adjust my scale. I can go over and adjust the rotation. And that has no effect on the mountain pass. So here's where it becomes different. So these you can adjust independently up here using under graphics. If you use motion, you're going to affect both of these words at the same time. So both things that are in the video. So both of these are in the same area. So when I do this, you'll see now that they're moving together. If I do scale, you're seeing that they change together. If I'm going over and using the rotation, they will rotate together. So this is how you can independently, up here, you would independently change things. And under video, you're going to change everything in the group. There's a few important things to know. If you change under video, you'll notice when I click here that you see a light blue box. That blue box now is your actual framing. If you move something outside of this box, the reason why it's a size, look, if I change 86%, that box gets smaller. So if you adjust something in motion, and then you have your text attempt to leave this square, so if I move mountain pass this way outside those clouds, right, you will see it disappears. Because this box edge is the size I made it inside of motion, and now it's moving outside. So you do have to be a little bit careful about those type of situations. So most of the time when you're using the graphics area, you want to stay with it. And if you're using the video motion, then you want to stick with that. And try not to mix them too much until you're very comfortable with what's going on. In either case, this is a quick introduction to the graphics control panel, and we'll talk about how to go over and have things move around and move when you want them to move.